I forgot. That is strange. Brianna, is she using a computer or her phone? So if she's using her phone, I'm not sure why it won't work, but if she's using the computer, again, it could just be a connectivity issue.
I must get you. My dog's here to learn as well.
Perfect. So cute. Alex is outside, so he'll probably punch the glass door at some point during this, and I'll have to go let him in. Okay, so
Kitchen, I have a question about the test.
Sure.
Why weren't the definitions on the like the things? Like it was just like not definitions.
What do you mean?
Like I don't think that it was like examples, like not the definitions.
So if you look at your test review, it always says definitions/descriptions because it's from our notes, right? So it's not, if you, like I said, I told you from day one, if you guys Google the definitions of the word.
No, I didn't Google the definitions. Like I put the definitions down on my review, and like they weren't on it. And like the last question.
I mean, like, if you Google them to while you're doing your review, that won't be the same.
No, I know that, but I from the notes, like the definition wasn't the same as on the test. Like there wasn't definitions. Like there's examples.
No, there wasn't. Like there was, most of them were the definitions from our notes, right? Like we had I don't want to talk about them really because
I didn't know you could do it 2 days. Like I thought it was yesterday, and then I couldn't do it. And then that last question about the car, I didn't even get that. So I just honestly, if that was me, I'm not going to jail.
All right, but we're not gonna talk about it though, because
I'd be gone.
It's open. We're not gonna talk about it till the next week because some people still have to write it.
Oh my. Wait, what's it called? What are we doing now?
All right, so I think
wait, today's Friday?
Wait for Ava to get in. Today's Friday?
Oh, today is Friday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so today, guys, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen, and then we're gonna start watching the morning prayers together. Ian Duckworth puts them together, and so everyone else, I guess in their classes, now that I finally have them, the links figured out, are watching them first thing. So we're gonna watch that. I'll just play it from my computer, and then they are a little bit longer, so it will take up about 10 minutes of our meeting. So we're gonna play that. I'm gonna have to let my dog in a second because he's staring me down in the window, but we'll play that. And then after, what we're gonna do is this is otherwise if we were in class, today would be your CCA day. So we would be in the computer lab or the library. I can't remember which one I had booked. And so I'm not gonna take that away from you. You guys will have today to work on your CCA rather than us starting a new unit. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I want you guys to be able to try and do it at the same time, or at least write down the instructions. But I'm going to show you how to get an account on the free website, the program called Canva, because that's the program that is going to be, you don't have to use it, you can use Word, but it's not going to come out as nice if you don't use Canva. And Canva is super easy to use, and it makes things just way easier. I'll show you what I mean. There's templates on there. There's a lot of ways to make it look really cool and creative. So we'll go from there. Yeah, and then after we go over and I show you how to get the account, how to navigate Canva, you guys will have some time if you have any questions to ask me about the CCA so far. After I go over everything, you can ask them and I'll answer all your questions, and then we will break, and then you guys can go and continue to work on your CCA. Like I said, I don't want you guys, I wrote on D2L, use your CCA time today wisely. Don't just don't just take it as a free day because we don't have content that we're covering. You need to work on your CCA because the due date is going to come up a lot quicker than you are anticipating. And it's going to be really stressful, and it's worth 30% of your mark, so don't forget. You should have those papers if you have your notes on you, because they were always in your with your notes, because you guys got them like on day 2 of our course. But there is a section under the content page on our D2L that has the CCA there. I know you use a notebook, Bram, but everybody got copies of it. I'll show you where to find the page on D2L in a minute. But the CCA will be due on the 29th of January, because that's the last Friday before quad 3, I believe. I have to pull up the school calendar at some point because I don't have it. It's hung up in my office at school, so I don't have it on me. But I believe that's the last day. Okay, hang on, let me go let my dog in. He's punching the door. Okay, sorry about that. But I know that the last week of classes before quad 3 is a little bit wonky, just I think similar to like before Christmas break. Remember how you guys had our class on the Monday, and then you had week A the rest of it. Then yeah, so I don't know if the last week's like that as well. So let me double check on the school calendar and I'll like report back on our meeting too today if like the exact due date, but I believe it will be January 29th. Marissa, if you can't get your Chris I Love assignment into the Dropbox, you can email it to me. But it should let you if you just click on the assignment under Dropbox. Okay, Box, lay down. If you just click on the assignment under Dropbox, there should be a section that you can upload. Okay. So let me share my screen so we can watch the morning prayer together. All right. Oops. Let me log in. Hopefully everybody can see. Why don't you lay down? Lay down. All right. Here we go.
Morning, Titans. Today is part 5 of 5 of reading the first letter of John. If you want to join me in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. My beloved people, who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? This is the one who came by water and blood, Jesus Christ, not with the water, but with the water and the blood. And the Spirit is the one that testifies, for the Spirit is the truth. There are 3 that testify, the Spirit and the water and the blood, and these 3 agree. If we receive human testimony, the testimony of God is greater. For this is the testimony of God, that he has testified to his Son. Those who believe in the Son of God have the testimony in their hearts. Those who do not believe in God have made him a liar, by not believing in the testimony that God has given concerning his Son. And this is the testimony. God gave us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. Whoever has the Son has life. Whoever does not have the Son of God does not have life. I write these things to you who believe in the name of the Son of God, so that you may know what you have, so that you may know that you have eternal life. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? That's all we have to do. We just have to believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and we've conquered the world. You know, as someone who plays video games, and oftentimes in video games you're trying to conquer something, you know, there's lots to do. You know, we're doers. You know, when it comes to, well, we just celebrate Christmas, there's lots to do at Christmas time. When it comes to our schoolwork, there's lots to do, there's lots to learn, there's lots to know. Even when it comes to figuring out the online part, there's lots that we have to figure out, you know, and we're doers. And a lot of times we overcomplicate our own faith, you know, like we have to do things in order to impress God, you know, but it says here again, just in the first letter of John, right at the end, it says, who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? You know, and the world, it's not just a one-time thing. Be like, yep, conquered the world. I'm done with that. Moving on to Mars. You know, we don't conquer the world like that. I think the world throws things at us, and we have to conquer those individual moments. So right now we're dealing with pandemic, the things that are associated with the pandemic. You know, how are we conquering that the world's throwing at us? You know, and I guess a great example in our own life, like I mentioned earlier this week, that my wife had a baby. Well, my wife had the baby. We had a baby. But what I didn't mention is that she was in the hospital since November 11th. You know, and kind of looking at all the things that the world was throwing at her in that moment. You know, she missed Christmas. She didn't know when she was going to get out of there. She was there until January 1st. She has tons of food allergies, and they could barely accommodate. Like, I was bringing food up to her. Because we're living in the pandemic, COVID-19 time, she couldn't visit our own son, you know. So much going against her, so many things that the world would have been like, hey, you know what? It's okay if you're just miserable. You know, it makes sense. You deserve this. You deserve to be miserable because everything's going terribly for you. You know, like there was just so much things kind of compounding, one thing after another after another. But I would say overall, now it's easy for me to say being a third person, but like I could tell she was joyful. And it doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to the world. But it does make sense. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? And my wife believes. She believes that Jesus is the Son of God. She has faith. She has incredible faith. And that's what got her through. And that's what will get us through our hardships. That's how we will conquer our hardships. You know, and it's not, we don't do it alone. You know, we had tons of people praying for us. You know, even the people that worked at the hospital. My wife couldn't stop talking about the guy that would clean the floors. He would come in once a day, chat his face off to her, and then leave. You know, and he was a source of her joy, a way that she was able to overcome what the world was throwing at her. You know, the nurses, you know, I'd come in and be like, my wife would be like, oh, this nurse, you know, she's great. And, you know, like she had nothing bad to say about any of the nurses. All these nurses shared their joy with her. So that, even that situation, it means that we can, yes, we can choose joy, but we can also have a huge impact on the people around us as well. You know, so when people around us are going through really hard times, we can pray for them. We can try and help them conquer the world, you know, by believing that Jesus is the Son of God. But I pray that you all have an incredible weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday, rejuvenated and ready to conquer the world. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
All right. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So that is not as long as I thought it was going to be, which is all right. Okay, so we're on the D2L page. Hopefully you guys can see. So here's your schedule for today. So in the morning, you were to work on any outstanding work, you can email me any questions. So today, like I said, you guys are going to be working on your CCAs. So we're going to, go over the program Canva, which is linked right here. Or you can just go to literally canva.com. And that's the program we're going to be using. I'll exit out of that so that way I can just click it from here and show you exactly what you'll do. So I'm telling you here, make sure that you pay close attention to all of the instructions when you're about Canva and about your CCA today, and use your time wisely, like I said, because you're going to realize that this due date is going to come up a lot quicker than you're expecting, and the CCA is worth 30% of your overall grade, so you need to get it done. After our meeting and we go over Canva and everything else, you'll have time to continue to work on your CCA. We will reconvene at 12:20 for a brief check-in. So I'm just going to do a brief meeting with you guys. At that time, I just want to check in, see if anybody has any questions, and then go from there. So next week, we're going to be getting a new unit not next week, so the next week that we're together. So not next week, the week after. You'll have your week A classes next week. So please make sure you're fully caught up on Unit 2 before we move on. And then here I put in red, do not forget that the Unit 2 test will no longer be available after Saturday at 10 a.m. So Saturday at 10 a.m., it closes and you cannot access it again, especially if I have not spoken to you in advance about the 48 hours not working for you. Although it has to have a valid reason as to why it's not working for you, like you have 48 hours to do the test. So it really should. There's not really too many excuses to not have it completed within those 48 hours. However, if I hear from you Saturday, or if you email me Saturday at 11 o'clock and say, hey, I didn't get a chance to do the test yet, and it's closed now, what do I do? A, it's Saturday, I'm not going to answer you. And B, when I answer on Monday, I'm going to basically say sorry about your luck. Knox. Hey, sorry, he's got allergies and he's itching. There we go. So make sure you get that test done within that 48 hours. Now we're looking at the next 24 hours. That being said, please do not panic when you're done your test. Like I said, I told you guys yesterday, D2L will automatically grade your matching component of the test. Okay, the rest, the short answer, I have to go in manually and mark it myself. You'll see what it's out of, what each question's out of. But because with short answer on D2L quizzes, it's so dumb. You'd have to literally put your answer. Some of them are opinionated, but you have to literally put your answer in like word for word exact to whatever I made the answer in order for it to work. Oh, excuse me. And that's just doesn't make sense. So you'll, hypothetically have 0 on all the short answer questions when you're done your test, but it will automatically grade your matching. So whatever it said you got out of 74 when you finish the test, will be only including the matching. It's not going to include the short answer. Yeah, no, Devin, you did not get 17 out of 74, but that does mean you got perfect on matching. So matching was out of 17. So whatever you got on your matching, whatever you got on your quiz according to D2L is going to be what you got on the matching component of the test. And then I will, over the course of next week, mark the rest of the part of the tests and you'll see your grades. Oh, sorry guys, I am tired today. Okay. So I'll show you, first of all, if you don't have the hard copy of your CCA anymore, which you guys should. So if you go to content, you can see this is where all the stuff is for our units, as well as our daily virtual meeting recordings. So you can see they're all here. This was yesterday's. We didn't do a meeting number 2. So everything is right here. You can see the video still is me and Mason for some reason. But they're all right here. So Nathan, no, these aren't something you need to do. These are just the recordings of the meeting. So if you missed a meeting one day, then you can come on here and watch the recording of it. Just that way you don't miss any content or lessons. Mason, you do look concerned in that. So CCA is right here. So you'll see, you won't see these because you can see the I crossed out. It's just because I am the creator of the page. So you won't see these at all, but you will see the virtual learning and then you'll see CCA. So Journey with Jesus, if you scroll down, here is what you need to do. All right, so you can see everything you need to do, all your themes, all your writing styles, the writing styles explained, and the date TBD, but it's going to be January 29th, I believe. And then this is your planning sheet. So this is what you would have started in class already. Okay, so you have to have this done before moving on to your good copy. So Alex, it's up here on the content. Nathan, you wouldn't have done your CCA yet. This is the first day that you would have had to work on it, basically, other than this planning sheet. So you guys had some time in, like, during my prep period when Miss Lopes was there to work on this planning sheet. So the day that I explained it to you guys, you worked on this. So remember, you have your unit, your theme, your writing style, and then the main points that you're going to write about. So remember, this is a magazine. So hopefully ask your parents if you guys have any magazines laying around the house and kind of peruse one and see what it looks like. I'm guessing a lot of you guys haven't actually looked through and held a physical copy of a magazine before because it's just not your generation. So you need to try and get an idea of what a magazine looks like. And so here, unit, it's not super important, but unit, it would just be, is it unit 1? Is it unit 2? Is it unit 3? Like, we're going to get into unit 3 the next week that we're together. So it's not super important, but if you're doing it on, you know, if you're doing, the theme is the Good Samaritan, so you would write Good Samaritan here. If you're doing Good Samaritan, you know that's from unit 2. So you'd put unit 2 or Called to Love. And then the writing style. So maybe you're going to do a comic strip to showcase the story of the Good Samaritan. So you would have unit 2, the Good Samaritan comic strip, and then the points. Like if you're just going to show what the story of the Good Samaritan is, then you're going to basically summarize that story in the box. Because here I want to know, like, what is your writing piece going to contain? Basically, what information is it going to contain? And then over here, maybe you do the theme spies. So maybe you're going to do spies. You do unit 1. Maybe you'll do an information piece. And then you're just going to use that as a way to explain what spies is. And then you would just write what you're going to talk about in this box. Maybe for your next article, you might do it on risks of premarital sex. And then that would be unit 2, whatever writing style you choose to do. Maybe you do an advice column. So you can have, you can make up a person. So you might say, I don't know, Jamie Smith. And then, you know, dear author or dear editor. And then you might have like a question or a scenario where this made up person needs advice on. So it might be about, you know, premarital sex or teen sex. It might be a question about, like, I've been with my boyfriend for 4 months. You know, we're trying to think about taking things to the next level. This is something that he's brought up or he suggested. I just don't know how I feel about it because of, you know, possible risks associated with premarital sex. Can you tell me what you would do? And then you would write back to them. You'd be like, as the editor or as the author, you might say, like, you know, dear Jamie, and then continue and give them their advice, right? That's why it's, you know, an advice column. So you're giving them advice. And then you can always leave this box, the next box, for next unit if you want, because if you look at the front page, you'll see a lot of, there's some stuff on here that we haven't gone over yet, right? So social justice, prejudice, and common good. Oh, we went over prejudice, but we haven't gone over common good and social justice yet. Social justice issues. We haven't been over prayer, liturgy, or mass. There's a bunch of stuff on here. But yeah, you get the idea. The one that you have in a hard copy might be a little bit different, the unit themes, because I know this is the one that I put on here at the very start of the year, so it's possible that it's not exactly the same now, because I had changed some of the themes on here. So I can try to find, it's very likely, I will, after our meeting, I'll update this. What do you mean the test review answers? You have to do your test review yourself, Nathan. Where you would find all the content though, it's all on the notes that we've done in class. Oh, Chloe, all the writing styles have to be different. So you have to pick, you're going to be picking technically 4 writing styles, because the one is your cover story, the 5th one. So you have to do a cover story. So that's already chosen for you. And then you'll have 4 other different ones. In both online, like virtual school, we covered some notes this week as well as in face-to-face, Nathan. But yeah, so like I said, the easiest ones are going to be opinion piece, comic strip, advice column, letters to the editor, an advertisement. It's going to be easy. A how-to article will be very easy. Like you can even do like a how-to article. You could do like a recipe, but like make it like a creative recipe. So maybe like it might be like a recipe for how to love your neighbor, right? And then you can just creatively do like 1 cup of showing people respect, things like that. Like you can just do something creative, do a how-to article. An interview is good. Like you can make up in your interview. Remember in the examples, the 4+ examples that I showed you in class, the one example, she did an interview with Jesus and another one did an interview with a priest, like, and it's obviously like just made up, like it's just made up dialogue that you do. Short stories are easy as well. It's quite literally like a short story. Like it has to have a plot line. Like it has to have like a once upon a time, like a plot line type thing. But those are going to be the easiest ones. And then if you're ever confused about like what they are, like if you're like, I don't know what an expose is, then look on here, find it, and it will explain to you what it is. So an expose are articles that are meant to shock or surprise the readers by uncovering information on something secretive or not often spoken about. Thank you for letting me know, Alex. I can't, like I said, remember guys, I can't see if your hand's up. I can just see like on my phone, like a tiny little hand, but I don't notice it very often. Okay, so whose hand is up? Let me go back to Teams. Okay, let's go. It goes in order, like opposite order. So Alex, you can put your hand, like, yeah, ask your question.
Okay, so let's say I was on my review sheet, and do I have to use my notes to go on my review sheet, or can I go online and search some stuff up?
No, it has to come from your notes because it won't be the same definition likely.
Oh, crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. Zach.
For the CCA, do we have to like, we got to pick 4 like articles?
Yeah, so you're gonna have 5 writing pieces in total, but the one is already chosen for you, right? Your cover story. So that's the one that you're going to be explaining why you chose the picture for your cover page and how it represents your journey with Jesus. So then the other 4 you have to choose yourself.
Oh, okay.
How much do you have to write on them?
a fair bit. Like you have to write quite a bit. Like you can't just have like a one paragraph thing. So remember the examples that I showed you, the 4+ examples.
Miss Kitchen said I had a 0 out of 74 on my test. Like, I think it's just tripping.
So no, like I said, I told you guys, it will just, Devin, you didn't miss anything. It will just mark your matching component right away. So if it says you got 0 out of 74, that means you didn't get any of the matching right.
Yeah, because they weren't definitions. Like, it was dumb. Like, that test was so dumb. Like, I literally did like an hour and 20 minutes wasting my time, bruh.
Well, that's unfortunate. All right, Zach, do you have your hand up again? Or you just forgot to take it down? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to here. So these are the magazine article examples. So like things that you might think about doing, like if you did a movie review or a music review. These are just, yeah, these are, you have them already. So like your cover story needs to, tie into maybe components of the course if you're struggling to come up with an explanation for your cover story. But basically, it's a symbol that means something to you, or it's an image that represents your journey with Jesus in some way. So remember in your example, no, Sam, the examples aren't posted just because I had them in hard copies. So I will try and see if I have any 4+ examples that I can post, and I'll post them in here. Like I'll post them in this CCA section, and I'll also post it on the course homepage if I can find some. I don't know if I have any like in virtual copies. But for example, remember one of the examples I showed you in class was her cover image was like a beach with 2 sets of footprints walking. And then she wrote about how that represents her journey with Jesus, because she knows that Jesus is always with her through, every walk of life. So basically she talks about how the 2 sets of footprints represent hers and Jesus's. So she talks about Jesus always walking beside her and always being there for her and supporting her throughout her life. So that might be something similar to what you feel. You just can't use, obviously, like if you don't remember what the picture is, it's fine. Like then I wouldn't fault you for it. But that is just like, an idea of how that, and explain an image and how that represents a journey with Jesus. And so the rubric, which make sure you guys familiarize yourself with, is right here. So make sure you see you're marked on the overall appearance of your magazine. It needs to make sure that you have a target audience. It's obviously teenagers and faithful teenagers. Basically, you have to have font that is consistent. It has to be creative and inviting. It has to be easy to read. Basically, the cover should be creative. The title, it doesn't disregard that, because your title will just be Journey with Jesus. And then, it should look good. It shouldn't be crowded, or it shouldn't be too vague. The content itself, you have to have the minimum of your four components that you've chosen, plus your cover story. Okay, and then you're marked on illustrations, so you need to make sure you have a minimum of 4 images of some sort, like pictures, in your. Hey, Knox. Sorry, Knox is itching. Hey, enough. And you have to have a minimum of 4 pictures that are creative and have good color in your magazine, and then the presentation. So I said use of writing process. So this is where you're getting your communication marks, right? So spelling, grammar, structure, headlines that are inviting, and etc. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to the home page. So if I find some examples on my computer, I will post them. I'll update I'll post them in the content page under the CCA box, but I'll also update today's like daily schedule with an example. You know, I'll say like I'll link the example there. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to get onto the program that I want you to use to do your CCA. So you can click right here, you can click right here, or if it's not working, you can just go to literally canva.com. So this is the website that should load. So once you are, I got it, once you're here, you're going to click sign up. And then this will pop up. So you can sign up with any of these. I recommend definitely signing up with your email. And then I cannot stress it enough. Make sure you write down the email you use, and also make sure you use the correct email. So I suggest you use your school email because I have your username and your password to get into your school email. So if for whatever reason you're having a hard time logging in and you need to change your password, then you can get into your email, your school email for sure. Oh, nice. And change that password. So type when you do sign up with email, you have to have your name here. So I'll put my name in. And then make sure like you type your email in properly. I hope that it will let me do this because I've already created an account, so it might not let me, but I'm just going to show you the process anyways. So double check, especially if you're using your email, that you have the BHN CDSB in properly. You've got everything written properly. And so then you have to create a password. So your password needs to have 8 or more characters. So it has to have a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. So don't forget that. So I'm going to put in a password. All right, so I put in my password. It tells me it's strong. Even if it says yellow and that it's medium, you can still use it. It just isn't a super strong password. And then you're going to click get started. Oh, yeah, so it might not let me because I already have a Canva account associated with this email. Let me try. Try this. Woo. Okay, I think it's going to work. Use my Gmail. Okay, so this is what's going to pop up. So it's saying, what are you using Canva for? You click that you're a student. All right, and then you are currently in high school. Continue. This part, just skip it. You don't need to put anybody, add anybody to your teams. So at this point, just hit skip. Okay, and then it says start your first design. So from here, I would type in magazine. So then there's a whole bunch of different ones, all different types. I would just click the top one because it's easiest. And then it's going to load your workspace. And all the templates will be over here. So like I said, see how it didn't matter if you clicked which kind? So it says start with a template. So you can use, basically you can drag one onto the canvas to start. So you can like click and drag it. And this will take you through some steps on what to do, right? Customize, click on it, a toolbar will show up, and then you can double click to edit the text. You can upload your own pictures. So this is where you're going to upload your image that you find that you want for your cover page. Nuts. Hey, stop. So you can Google a picture, or maybe you've taken one, like I know Samantha showed me when we were face to face, some really awesome photography she was doing with her phone. So maybe you want to use one of those. If you've taken a picture on your own, or if you've Googled a picture that you like, that you want to use, that you think represents your journey with Jesus, then you can use that. Make sure you save it to your computer and then just click here to upload. And then next, you can download, share to social media, or order professional prints. So obviously if you click here and you download something, it's going to, you can download it. But you see that this image is the same as this. So this is also the download button. You can share a link. You can share it on social media. However, sometimes like it's going to show you like that if you use certain things that cost money, you don't actually have to pay for it. You'll just have to download as a PDF. So when you're done, you're going to click here and then make sure that it shows. Obviously, you can see like it won't let me because I haven't actually done anything yet. But you're going to want to make sure that it's automatically on PDF print. And then you'll click to download. But I'll show you some examples. So first, I want to show you magazine covers, because I'm assuming you guys probably have not looked at a magazine maybe in your entire life. So for example, let's look at this one. Where'd it go? Why did that just change? That's so strange. What? I am so confused. Hopefully you guys could see that it literally just changes. All right, this one's good. So you can see that you guys are that young though, okay? I feel like your generation doesn't look at magazines. When I was your age, we used to always go and buy like the Cosmo magazines. But like I said, ask your parents if they have any magazines laying around. If you have perused a magazine before, then you're ahead of the game. But for example, you can see the image of this magazine is like the focal point, obviously, this beautiful woman. And oh, Devin, you have magazines on your table. See, that's perfect. All right, somebody's mic is on. I don't know who. See, well, that's not true, Nathan. See, perfect. See, yeah, Toronto Charlie, your birthday's on Sunday. I was like, I just noticed that yesterday. I was like, oh no, I'm like, we're not going to be together, so I can't play a happy birthday song. All right, well, make sure you guys, if you guys have the ability to look at a magazine in, physical form. You don't want me to sing, trust me. You can do that because it'll just help you out. But for the people who cannot or have never seen a magazine cover before or looked at one before, that's why we're going to look at this. See? Definitely doctor's offices. I'm not going to sing. But you can see the image is the focal point. And then you have it's Elle magazine. So the title is along the top. So yours will probably be about the same because you want the font for your title. Like if you notice in all of these magazine covers, the title of the magazine itself is a different font than the rest, right? It's very large. It's noticeable. You can see exactly where it is. It's not hard to find. Okay, so here's another Elle magazine. It's a comparison. Time magazine is like an informative magazine, so obviously it's not going to have nearly as many like headings, but you can see the title. Same with this Vogue. Like you can see all of them. You can see the titles like very clearly. The Mary Claire one. So you can see it's pretty, you should be able to find your title very obviously. There's another Vogue. Okay, but we're gonna work with this one. Zach, you should have already started to work on it in class a little bit. Like I said, that planning sheet by hand. But today is the day that you're going to be working on the CCA. I'm just showing you right now how to format your cover and then how to use Canva. So I already showed you how to get an account on Canva. Like I said, I cannot stress it enough to write down your email that you use and your password, because if you, for whatever reason, cannot get back onto Canva, you can't access your work. So keep that in mind. You need to make sure that you write that down and you don't forget it. The nice thing about using your personal computers at home right now is that you can click once you write something in. Yes, this is for the CCA. Once you write something in, like a username or password, usually it'll pop up to save it. Excuse me. So I suggest you do that. Okay, but anyways, you can see the title very clearly. And then this is what I wanted to point out, these headings. So you see the bold font where it says interview, travel, decor, travel blog. And then there's a little blurb with a little bit smaller font underneath it. So that is just explaining. So these are what you're going to have for your writing pieces. So if you did a how-to article on how to be, how to love your neighbor, you would write here, like, so in big red font, possibly you would write, how to love your neighbor. And then underneath maybe like a how-to guide that everyone in the world could use to make it a better place or something. Right. And then here you have travel. In this magazine, you can, if you did something on the Good Samaritan, you might write the Good Samaritan, and then a blurb underneath might write the story of the Good Samaritan, from the Bible. And then you're gonna have 5 headings, right? Because then you might have here cover story. Nathan, I don't know how to get it so you can see my screen. Like, I don't know what your computer looks like right now, so I don't know where you can click. Like, I feel like you can pin my my name on there, or if you click on it, then you can see. Like, if you go to show participants, you should be able to see everybody in there, and then get me. So what if you, I don't know, what if you unpin? I don't know why it would just show you my face. I have no idea how to get you to show my screen. So if that's the case, Nathan, just go back on onto D2L after this and watch the recording. Because I don't know how to do it. So like I said, you're going to have 5 of these headings. So you'll have whatever ones you've chosen, and the blurb underneath about what, briefly what it will be about. But you'll also have, your cover story. So you might have your cover story, and then underneath you might write, cover image explained, or how the image on this cover represents journey with Jesus, something like that. So just taking a look at this, like, that way you can get an idea of like how creative and bold you see the title of the magazine is. So I should be able to find the title of your magazine right away. And then you'll have your headings. Okay, so because you need to include these headings and the title and whatnot, make sure you find a template that is going to work easiest for you to do that. Like, you can put in text boxes and you can do the headings and create them yourself after, but I just find it's going to be a lot easier for you if you just find a template on Canva that already has the headings that you can just edit. And then if you want to get really creative, like I said, a couple of the 4+ examples, they found like a little image of a barcode and threw it on the bottom and whatnot. Okay, where are we? So looking at here, you can look through different magazine styles. So like this one, you can see it has the headings, some headings along the bottom. You might just have to add in a couple more on top. But you're gonna go through, maybe teen magazine might be a good idea. Like, this one is easiest. It's got the headings there. You can scroll through. Here's another one that has headings, which would be good. You might just have to add in another couple, 3 more. There's travel magazines. You can look at, usually fashion magazines will have things like that. Like I said, there's the one with headings. These ones are headings. You can continue to see these are headings. Those are the headings. Yeah, Chloe, this is just for the cover. This is just showing you. So the thing is, it's just for the cover, but it will give you more pages. So I'll show you. Let's see. I'll pick one. Which was the one that I just saw? Oh, travel. I wasn't looking at it. This one. So you can click on that. And so then you might change, like, you can just click on these. So like, remember, like, see how it highlights? You have to double click. So if you can see, I double clicked and now I can change the font. And then you can highlight this and see right now the font is at 138. I can make it smaller. Like I can go basically until it's as small as I want it to be. So I'll probably go to like 99.9. And then you can move it around, right? So like I'm gonna pull it up to the top a little bit more. And there we go. So then you've got your headings. So you can click on these also and like copy and paste them, I think. So if I copy and then over here, paste, you can see now I've got 2. I mean, I have 3, sorry. So I can paste it again and again. And then move the, oops, sorry. I'm just gonna undo. So this is how you undo if you've done something that you didn't mean to. And just move these around. And you can see when you're moving things around, you see all these purple lines that are popping up? That's to line things up. So it's going to show you there, that's lining things up. So it makes it center, it lines everything up. So to change the background picture, let's see. So if I Googled, I don't know, ocean, and I wanted to make this my background, what you're going to do is save image, not link, save the image. I'm going to save it on the desktop. Go to my journey with Jesus. And then upload from device. Where did I save that? I don't remember where I saved it now. Give me a second, I gotta re-save this. Oh, I saved it under student assignments. I did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay, I don't want, this is in the way. There we go. So then upload from a device. Click desktop. There it is. Click open. Okay, so you see how it's here? Give it a second, see it's loading. All right, so now it's there. So I can click this. And can I right click? No. So then drag it basically. Oh, it's already there. So I clicked on it, I dragged it. Hopefully I didn't, did I drag it? No, okay, I say hopefully I didn't upload it way too many times. So from here, I'm gonna right click it and click replace background. And so you can see, obviously, because of the picture that I've chosen, now you can see my headings. You can't read them very well. So you're going to double click on these and then change the font color, which is right here. So I would change them, say, to black. And then you should be able to see it better. Right? And then again, change it to black. Black. There you go. And one more. Black. Okay, so now you can see that the white is also a little bit hard to read, especially in the writing down here. So I would change that to a different color as well. But here I might write, like I said, because it's just, you have to double click to change your writing. You can't just click on it once. If you're clicking on it and you're like, what's happening? Like you have to double click in order to actually edit the writing. So I'm going to double click it all. And then I might say, how to love your neighbor. And so see how this is like not fitting properly? I can like spread it a little bit more so it fits better. And then under here, I might double click, highlight all the writing, change the font to black. there. And so then I might click on here. Sorry, this is also very tiny, and I'm not really sure why it's so small. So you can make it bigger. So you can see it a bit better. So I would double click all this info or highlight it and then say maybe how to guide on loving your neighbor. And then I might maybe bold this, so that way it's a little bit easier to read. And there you go. See, so that would be my first like heading. And then down here, there's the date. I'm gonna highlight it all so that way we can read it. Make it black. I'll make it bold. I'll make it a little bit bigger. And so you can keep the issue number if you want. I would maybe change this to like, oops, January 2021. And then you can make your Apple website, like you might write, oops, with Jesus.com. Little paragraphs on the cover. Yeah, so that's going to be talking about what is going to be in your magazine. So like I said, you have 5 writing pieces. So for example, this one might be cover story. And then in here, you might change this to black. And then you might write, bold it. And inspirational story explaining the photo. There, something like that. So Devin, you have to creatively come up with 4, like you have to choose 4 different writing styles and 4 different themes, but you're going to have 5 writing pieces in total because 1 is automatically your cover story. Can you put pictures where the writing is to talk? You can. It just like might be, I think it might be more straightforward to put the writing, but like if you want to do pictures and you think that it'll work, then yeah, go for it. It just might look, I don't know, it might look messy. You have to see how it looks basically. I'm just gonna make these bolded in black so that way you can see it better and kind of give you a better idea of what it would look like. What is happening? Text. That is not what I want. There we go. I was like, why won't that work? But yeah, I hope that this, Devin, does that make sense? Like, I see that you said "oh" with a question in there. So like if you read your description of what you have to do, okay, yeah, you have to make sure that you have 5 writing pieces total, but like I said, 2 are going to be, or sorry, 1 is going to be your cover story, so you don't have to do like a planning page for that. Okay, so for example, I only did 2 of these for you, but you can see you've got your title, and I might even move that down a bit, like Journey with Jesus. I've got my cover image in the background, you know, a really pretty sunset over the water with clouds. And you can talk about how, like, your next page, you might talk about how that is like representing of my journey with Jesus, because it makes me think, you know, that's just pure natural beauty. And we have to thank God and thank Jesus for all the natural beauty in the world. And so I might say something about that representing my journey with Jesus. Zach, what's your question?
What's that like? It's like, you shall not lie, you shall not kill. Like, what's that called?
The 10 Commandments.
The 10 Commandments. Okay.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments. So like I said, I'm not going to edit all of these to do to make headings for you. Like I can bring these, or you can move them around too, like wherever you think it's going to be best seen. And like I said, you can do your font a little bit different. Like if you want to change the font so that way it's easier to read or what, but you can just format it that way. So basically after that, like my cover would be done. So then you can click add a page. And then you might do, like I said, you might Google you might have an image. Actually, that might be a little bit busy. I would probably maybe look at like old rock. And then, okay, so that might be kind of cool. So for example, maybe I'll save not that one, because you can see how there's like writings, that way you don't steal the image. I would suggest maybe finding one that doesn't have writing on it, like this one. All right, I'm gonna save this image. Old rock texture. I've saved it. So then I would go here. Sorry, scroll up to uploads. See my image is right there still. I would upload another picture from device. It is here. Give it a second, see it's like floating. Zach, what's your question?
Okay, so like, so you know how we need to talk about something for like 2 paragraphs? Like the topic or whatever? Would that be equivalent to like one of these pages in like a subheading kind of thing? Or would we need to do more than a page?
No, one page is probably enough. Like obviously your font's not going to be massive.
Yeah.
It should be enough. Okay,
Okay.
so it's how I've clicked. Lennon, your lunch isn't until 11:35. See how I clicked this image? So like I said, you can right click and then set image as background. And so that might be my background for my next article. So like I said, like you can pick anything. Like you could even pick like, you could look up like, old script paper. Right, so then you might find like this is pretty cool. So I might like right click, save image as. It's already there. And then I can add a page, upload some media. This one. Give it a second to load. I'll click this, like right click, set image as background. And there's another one of my backgrounds. So, right, so you want to make sure your set's creative. In the examples, they did do a table of contents. Like you don't necessarily have to, like you can see like you have like page 2 here. Like, so you could do a table of contents if you really wanted to, but it's not necessary. Like you're not going to be docked any marks if you don't have a table of contents by any means. But then, so because I just have like a blank space here, I'm already on this page now. I've clicked on it. You can go to like text. Alex, what's your question?
So I was thinking that I was gonna do just a page listing the 10 Commandments. Is that okay?
Yes, it's
Like
not
in
like
short form.
creative. Like it's not no, it wouldn't be short form because they're already short as they are. But like the Beatitudes you might do short forms for or something, but like either way, like it would be an information piece. But I would suggest maybe trying to go like a step further and maybe say like a how-to article on how to how to obey the 10 Commandments or something like that. Like,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or you might do an opinion piece on which of the 10 Commandments you find is the most important. So if you're
Okay,
in
thank you.
here, you're welcome to do like a heading. Like there's different like different ones that you can just pick on your own if you want. Or you can just click add a heading. And then you can change the font however you want. And then here I might write like, oh, that's annoying. Not very like, and you can change the font here. Like this is just like Open Sans, but it shows you like all the different kinds of font, like what they look like. So you can just pick. Like if you look through, you might find one that you like. Oh, some of them they might not let you use. Okay, yeah. So if they have like a little star, a crown, sorry, it won't let you use it. So I've clicked that one. I don't know why the O's are not showing up now, but weird. That is strange. Not sure why this font doesn't let you use an O, but we can try something else. Oh, that one's. Let's see. There we go. What's your question?
I have the Canva thing loaded up on my computer, and I went into like the account, and it said, "We've noticed that your account hasn't been confirmed yet. Please check your inbox for a confirmation email." Like, does that go to the school or does that go to me?
So it depends on. It'll go to you. Did you use your school email?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then just go to your email. Like so, you can go on the homepage like of our course page and get to your email that way if you don't know how.
Okay.
Just on the on the homepage of our D2L, like along the top where it says Dropbox, content, quizzes, whatever, there's an email section. So you can click that and it will take you to your school email.
Oh, okay, thanks.
No problem. Okay, so you see I've got my heading for my cover story, and then you can add a body of text. So this is where you can basically tweak it however you want. So you can make it like, it won't let you drag it too far down. Like obviously like, you can see that, but it'll let you type. Just get this to be in black so that way you can see it. Oops, sorry guys. I'm gonna bold it so that way it's just easier to read. Just like keep in mind, like I said, with your background, play with your fonts. That way it will be easier to read it. So then we can write here like image on the cover of this magazine symbolizes my journey with Jesus. The reason for this is blah 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 blah. Right? And then you can make it like bigger if you want, but like I would suggest making it not like too big. Like you can just go like this, that way you have more space. This font is even, you can see it's a little bit difficult to read, so I might even suggest doing like a different color. Like let's just do blue, for example, right now and see how that looks. Oh, that's worse. So just like play with it, obviously, like if it's hard, and then you may have to like possibly change your background if it's hard to read anything on it. Like black seemed to be our best bet, I think. But yeah, so then you're just going to continue on. So basically your cover story should be about a page. And obviously your font isn't going to be an insane size because it needs to be, you know, a decent amount of writing. You can't get away with having like size 75 font and writing 4 sentences. It doesn't work that way. And then for your next page, again, same thing. You might do add a heading. But like if you don't want to do this one, like add it like this way, you can delete that. Oops, sorry. You can delete that and you can add like a heading that's already here. You can just change like these are just showing you the different kinds of font. Like you don't have to have it's not going to say like what is here, right? So you can have like title heading. There's a whole bunch of different ones. So like so I might click this and see how it says happy birthday, but you've changed what it says. So how to, and then the thing. And then I would like, because that looks wonky to me, I would move them around a little bit. Maybe tweak the size. I would make this a little bit smaller, I think. Because it just is overwhelmingly large. Yeah, so on and so forth. And then just kind of like move it around. And then you could continue on with your text, scroll all the way back up to the top to add, you know, another body of text. And that's where you're going to do your writing. So remember, like you can keep this column this small, like this text column. Oh my gosh. Just like write, and you see how it stays like in one side. Like I'm just gonna do a bunch of nonsense so you can see what I mean. So you see how it stays on one side. You can make it a bit bigger and then move it over. I already showed you how to use the cover, but I would use Canva for the whole thing just because it's so easy and everything's already there for you. So then because I already did like, Nathan, your break's not until 11:35. So because I've already typed all this out, like you can add another body of text, move it up here, and then have another column. So like that way that you might have 2 columns of writing. I'm just doing this again for like just to show you. And so then you can see like you would have like you can move them around a bit, but you can have 2 different columns. So that way it doesn't have to just be like all your writing like in one consistent paragraph. You can have like it go here and then it continue on this side. Okay, so that's about as far as I'm going to show you. Keep adding pages. The only next thing that I want to show you basically is the download. So now because I've done some work, first of all, you can go File and Save. Like it will automatically save, but I would click this just in case. And now I can go back home. Like if you click the home page, or like if you got out of Canva and then you logged back on, when you log back on here, you scroll down and it'll say your designs. So give it a minute to load. Sorry, my internet's a little bit slow right now. But it will say your designs. So you can click on this and it will open back up everything, what I've been working on before. It's just slow. And give it a second, the picture will load. So everything is here still. So I can come back to working on this. So the only other thing I want to show you before we break is this download button. So remember, you can do it up here, but you can click here as well. Download, and like I said, your computer might default to something else. Don't default to a JPEG. Definitely don't. Sometimes default to an MP4 video. Do not. Make sure you find that it is PDF print. And then when you click download, you can see that it says it's downloading. Give it a second. Don't worry about this, like, because this is just trying to get you to pay for printing. And then you can see my thing is downloaded in a PDF version. And so once you are done your CCA on Canva, just keep adding pages and working on it as you go. Because once you download it, then I said, like, you can see it's just one consistent document. So I got my cover, I've got my headings, I've got the cool little issue, date, and my made up website. Cover story is next. And so you can see with it being this big, it's easier to read the font. So you can play with it a little bit, and black is fine. My backgrounds look good. I have my how to be a loving neighbor, and then my writing will be there, and so on and so forth. So you can just exit out of that. I'm gonna get this. So basically, like I said, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so I can see it better. You can make it as big as you need to, like if you're working with it. So I showed you how to do your cover and do your headings and make sure you have that. I showed you, your next page, do your cover story and how to do your writing, continue on. And then you just keep going until you're done. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. Okay. Bram, did you upload it on the Dropbox or did you email it to me? Because if it's on Dropbox, then I haven't checked yet. That being said, do any of you, so if it's in the Dropbox, then I'm sure it's there. I'll check after. Do any of you guys have any questions about Canva or about the CCA currently? Hopefully we're all good. Like I said, I recorded this meeting, so I will upload this to our D2L page, just where I showed you all the other ones were. If you need a refresher and you want to go back and watch it just to double check, make sure you're doing things right and see how to do things, that's totally fine. So you guys have your lunch break technically in 15 minutes. I know, sorry, this meeting went a little bit longer than anticipated, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys fully understand before you move on. What we'll do is I will change our afternoon meeting to 1 o'clock, and it's just going to be a check-in. Like, I just want to check in, see that you guys are figuring out Canva properly and are on a good start. So you can see just within that, like by the time I was actually using Canva and showing you, within that time frame, I already got a cover basically finished and started on, 2 pages of work. So it really isn't that difficult if you just sit down and focus and get it done. So make sure that planning sheet, you have your planning sheet pretty much done. You should have at least 3 boxes in your planning sheet done. That being said, oh, Brianna, that's fine. Just a check-in. So I can always just message you after individually and see this afternoon how you're doing with your CCA. But just like I said, use your time wisely. Get that planning sheet done so that way it makes your life a whole lot easier when you are writing it, and focus and get it done. So if you have any questions or you're struggling with anything, just let me know and I will be available to answer your questions. Like I said, obviously you've probably noticed if you ask me questions, after, like, within reason, like obviously if it's like 4 o'clock, I will I'll answer them for you. But if you ask me questions like in the evening, I'm trying to keep my sanity and like limit my email usage until to school hours. So when it comes to CCA though, if you need help, I will definitely help you out. Nathan, what's your question?
Do you have all my assignments?
Did you email them all to me?
Yeah.
Then I should have them. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let me double check, but I definitely should have them. That can, oops. Yeah, I got Nathan. I have your moral dilemma, your Christ-like love, and then the stuff from Unit 1 that you were behind on. I think that is it. Yes. Okay. So are we good? We're good to break. Mason, I see your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, honestly, I was just gonna ask if I could leave.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think we're good. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to navigate this attendance list. Okay. So go ahead. Take your lunch break, and then after lunch, whenever you choose to, if you are feeling like you're on a roll right now, go for it. But get working on your CCA. Ask me questions if you need help, and I'll change our afternoon meeting, let's say to like 1 o'clock, and we'll do a check-in to make sure everyone's doing okay. Okay, and then I will upload the recording of this video on D2L as soon as it emails it to me. Okay, good luck, guys. I hope that was helpful. That was more informative than any other classes usually get, so you're lucky that way. But yeah, all right. Enjoy your afternoon break, and I'll see you guys later.